Imagine being just 8 years old, playing outside and vanishing without a trace. For decades, her killer taunted a whole town until DNA finally revealed the shocking truth. April Tinsley was just 8 years old when she disappeared on April 1st, 1988, in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was a quiet, sunny afternoon, and like any child her age, she was out walking to a friend's house. But she never arrived. When her parents reported her missing, the town was thrust into shock. Neighbors, friends, and police searched tirelessly, but 3 days later, her body was discovered in a ditch near Spencerville, about 20 miles from her home. The autopsy revealed a devastating truth. April had been abducted, essayed, and strangled. The sheer violence and senselessness of the crime left the community reeling and investigators desperate for answers. From the very beginning, the investigation was methodical. Police canvassed the neighborhood, interviewed everyone who might have seen her, and followed every tip, but despite these efforts, no immediate suspect was identified. Then, in 1990, a chilling development emerged. Someone began leaving anonymous letters around Fort Wayne. These letters were not just threatening, they directly referenced April's murder, mocked investigators, and hinted at the possibility of further violence. Some even included used condoms. While terrifying, these letters became crucial evidence, and investigators carefully preserved them, knowing that one day science might reveal the person behind them. This is the barn note. It was left on a barn fence. It says, "I kill 8-year-old April Marie Tinsley. I will kill again." This one says, "Hi honey, I've been watching you. I am the same person that kidnapped and raped and killed April Tinsley. You're my next victim if you don't report this to police and I don't see this in the paper tomorrow or on the local news." And then it says something else. Honestly, it's disgusting. Over the next decades, law enforcement pursued countless leads. Suspects were interviewed, DNA evidence from the letters and crime scene was analyzed repeatedly, and behavior experts profiled the perpetrator. The letters indicated a bold, manipulative personality, someone who believed he could act without consequences. The killer's audacity, combined with the disturbing content of the letters, fueled fear in the community for decades. For years, despite every effort, the case remained unsolved, frustrating investigators and haunting April's family. Then, nearly 30 years later, a breakthrough came through forensic genetic genealogy, a method that had recently solved other cold cases. DNA collected from the letters and crime scene was submitted to genealogists who cross-referenced public DNA databases to construct family trees. This technique ultimately narrowed the search to a suspect living in the Fort Wayne area, John D. Miller, who resided in Graybill, Indiana, close to the location where April had been abducted. Police obtained DNA from discarded items belonging to Miller, including trash, and the results matched the DNA from April's case and the letters. When confronted, Miller confessed. He admitted to abducting April, taking her to his trailer, essaying her, and strangling her to prevent her from telling anyone. The combination of the confession and DNA evidence provided the final link investigators had waited decades to find. When we examine the evidence in detail, several points stand out. First, the physical evidence. The DNA collected from both the crime scene and the letters were preserved with remarkable care, allowing modern techniques to succeed where older methods had failed. Second, the behavioral evidence. The letters provided insight into the killer's psychological profile, calculating, bold, and remorseless. Third, the timeline of the case. The crime occurred in 1988, letters appeared 4 years afterward, and the eventual resolution came decades later, showing the long-lasting impact of such a crime on a community. So here are some of the sketches they had. This is 1, 2, 3. John D. Miller was sentenced to 80 years in prison, 50 for murder and 30 for child essay. While he later died in custody in 2025, the case serves as a profound example of how modern forensics, combined with diligent evidence preservation and investigative persistence, can solve even the most stubborn cold cases. In conclusion, the abduction and murder of April Tinsley devastated a community, leaving pain and fear in its wake for decades. But through careful preservation of evidence, the revolutionary application of genetic genealogy, and relentless investigative work, justice was finally achieved. The evidence told a story: a violent crime, a daring and manipulative perpetrator, and a breakthrough that closed a decades-long mystery. April's life was tragically short, but her story reshaped how investigators approach cold cases, proving that even the darkest, most enduring mysteries can eventually be solved with science. Her memory lives on, ensuring that the crimes against her are never forgotten and that justice, however delayed, was ultimately served. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment down below for what you want to see next. I appreciate all the support. Peace.